So when you have an income of $1,000, what are the expenses that you can do? And I've kind of done one for me. Okay. So don't worry about where the estimator form is. I'll show you, right? So what you need to do first is, once you're on the estimator form, if you have no salary because you're a contractor, please type 0. The form needs a 0. And then we put $12,000. Please note there's monthly and annually. If you put 12,000 and you put monthly, that means you earned $140. So just put it right. And just to make sure that foreign income, so that we know you're paying attention when you type this in, we make you type in USD. So if you earn in GBP, cool, you can type that too. And then you can change the exchange rate. Just because it was pre-filled, it doesn't mean that the GBP became 300 rupees, right? And then you got to remember that you want to claim your expenses. So we force you, please pay attention. Doing taxes is a serious thing. So think, I want to reduce my tax by claiming expenses. And then what? We give you a full list which appears like magic. And you have rental expenses, network costs, so your phone, Wi-Fi, your electricity bill, and 120,000 a year. Please mind you, these are annual expenses. We thought it would be rather silly to ask you to put annual to give you that much flexibility, because that many more buttons to press. So your rental income. Now, here it says 360,000. My rent is 100,000 rupees a month. And I've taken 30%, which is 30,000 rupees a month times 12, 360. Right. My phone bill and my Wi-Fi bill is about 15,000. And therefore, I've taken a third of it at 5,000 a month times 12, 60,000. Right. So I won't bore you showing you how good I am at my multiplication tables. And instead, I'm just going to tell you, read these expenses through, right? Website cost, electricity, bank charges, subscription and software. So 2,500 rupees a month I have used here. Please do not charge your Netflix subscription. It is not possible to use Netflix for work unless you're literally like working for a production studio. And then we need to look at subcontractor payments, fuel, transport, commuting to work, or going in for a training program is okay, but commuting to work is generally disallowed, right? So you don't want to garner attention towards the other expenses. Let's say you bought a MacBook, right, for your work. You legit need a proper MacBook. Yeah, Office gives you one, but you kind of need more productivity. So you got one. Don't put your took fare and ruin that, right? And then obviously you can put in our regular fee. But don't worry, you won't have to put such a high amount. We're giving you a discount at the end, so stick around. So put in your expenses, and then, there are a few more. Once you put in all the expense categories, let's say you bought a computer, right? You under one of these categories, right? I think we have an other category at the bottom, so you can stick that there. And then we do the total for you. Right? So even if you're bad at math, nothing to worry about. We will total the expenses, and then we will deduct what I showed you before. See this $12,000, which is $1,000 a month. Once you take out the expenses, your net foreign income drops to $10,000. Now you've saved $2,000 you've brought down your taxable income by $2,000, and your your annual foreign income in rupees, because the tax department doesn't really care about how many dollars you made. They're saying you brought it to Sri Lanka to qualify for the 15% lower rate. The date that you brought it, we apply the central bank rate and we total it. And don't worry about all of this. We'll send you an Excel file. You just put in like the date that you got it and then amount that you got in dollars. We figure out the exchange rates, right? You can do it yourself if you really like doing extra work, but we can do it for you. And then in this example, I've said that I have 2.4 million of side gig income, right? Don't ask me what I do, but yes, I have side gig income. Cool. Now, if you have interest income and that sort of thing, you can put in your gross interest income. You don't have to worry about deducting the 10% that would have been taken and all that. It's too painful. Just put the gross amount, right? And we'll take care of that. Even your rent, we do the deduction of 10% if it's above the correct that threshold. And then please, 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 if you actually have bought a solar system, solar power system, or you have the ability before Tuesday to go pay an advance of 600,000 rupees, pay it, because you're buying time, right? So you think about it. If you don't want it, if the company is decent enough, they refund all the money to you. You can't claim it if you get your refund, but at least you've got the ability to say, hey, I've got the choice to charge it to this year as well as next year, right? And then you can put in your full name and your email address and your phone number, and then take the free updates and then say, email me my results. What do you get? What do you get? You get a payment email. You have to verify your email address, make a payment. We'll give you a discount code. And then what? We don't run away. We help you further, right? We will first tell you your quarterly payment, right? And then in tiny print to test your eyesight, we will say how much we saved you. And that's just how good we are at math. We actually saved you a hell of a lot more, but I'll tell you what we're talking. So remember, after deducting my expenses, I had only 3 million rupees. I earned $12,000, which should have been 3.6, but I saved $2,000 there. It's only 3 million. My side gig made 2.4 million. And now you remember that 1.8 we were talking about? Because I invested in solar, it went to 2.4, and that 2.4 total you can see here. We have figured out, you saw me add, right? We're very good at math. We've figured out the ideal formula to split the income between this, and by splitting it between foreign and local income, we have saved you an additional 42,000, right? Aside from the 15% of $2,000, which is another 90,000, right? So 130,000 something saved on this calculation alone. And remember this, right? We said you have the 3 million, the 2.4, you take off the tax-free allowance separately, and then you have this thing called taxable income. Taxable income is essentially what the government will assess you taxes on. So what you remember, I showed you the graph with lots of rates. Here they are, right? Foreign income in the left column, local income on the right, where local income you pay 6, 18, 24. But by allocating that tax-free allowance between the two, we've basically minimized your tax payment to only 271,200 rupees after having earned 5.4 million rupees. So you're effectively paying 5%. Okay, so I will take you through some deadlines, but I want to show you some. Okay, so when do you have to pay? What is next? I'm sure none of you actually care about how this is calculated or how good my arithmetic is, right? You just want to know, what do I do next after I key in all this information, right? You have something to do in May, you have something to do in September, and you have something to do in November. I'll tell you in a moment. And it's nothing to do with my side gig. Before we get to what you have to do, I want to remind you of a couple of things. There are two different tax rates, 36 for rupee income, 15 max for local income, which means there's a difference of 21%. 1.8 million tax-free income plus 600,000 rupees of solar means 2.4 million rupees. At 21%, you could save a maximum of 504,000 rupees through this estimator. And on top of that, you would add the expense, the saving that you get from the expenses. Now, lots of words saying all of that, right? Cool. I'll just move to the next slide. So if you want to know where that estimator is, here it is. I'm going to leave this on the screen for a bit. Please pull out your phone. I mean, you can stop playing Minecraft or Angry Birds or whatever it is, that vegetable slicer thing, right? Take a photograph of this. Right? So how do you get there if you still didn't bother? You go to lanka.tax. It's very simple. Lanka.tax. You click on calculator and you click on 2526. And we've even changed the word here to call it estimator. Yes. So 2526, right? That's the current year. Super simple. Now, remember I told you have something to do in May, September, and November. Sorry, I mixed up the slide. That's not right next, but it's there. So this is the estimator form that we saw earlier. This is how to get there. Yeah, as easy as 1, 2, 3. Cool.